each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello. I have to do a lot of stuff in that 40 seconds. I want you to know. I'll just say or pick my nose during the theme song. Yeah. You gotta put it out. You gotta start it and everything, and then I gotta let people know I'm live, and I send a post over here. Often my microphone's over there, so I gotta put it over here. I did that at the very last. Sometimes you catch me in the middle of it. Sometimes I don't get it done in time. It really depends on how fast Facebook posts. YouTube posts it. So happy sober Thursday to you and to me and to anybody that's trying to live a better life away from alcohol. This page is for anybody, really. I talk a lot about alcoholism, but you can certainly take what I say and apply it to other problems in your life, to other addictions in your life. If it helps and leads you to a better place, and why not, right? We'll do what it is that we can. My niche is kind of alcoholism, but there's also the human endeavor. And I've been watching people since a very young age, so I know what you're going to do next, alcoholic or not. Good morning, Michelle. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, good old Thursday. Got a couple sponsees today. I have to figure out Calendly. Community resource. They wrote me back. I think his words were, "I am embarrassed by this." So there's no point in getting mad. And if you didn't hear, I went to go do the meeting yesterday, and they had an all staff meeting, and forgot to tell me that they wouldn't be there the next week and stuff. So, but it's human error. I mean, really, there's only one person, and it was the person that was controlling the emails that really didn't seem to want to put in any effort. But when I go there, everybody treats me very, very nice. They're very kind to me, very appeasing, very they go out of their way to help. Sometimes I can't get down because I have to walk somebody. You have to walk you up to the room because it's staff only. How I became staff permitted, I don't know, but they ain't paying me. So maybe someday they'll pay me something. Who knows? Not for this work though. Right. So what is it? Well, it's progress. These are growing pains. Right. And God put me in this situation because I'm used to these growing pains. I know what it's like. And I know what needs to be done next and all that other crap. And what needs to be done next is we're going to go. We have seven different places we need to go and talk to the staff about what AA is about. That's where we're going to start. So now is a great time to let people know about Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the perfect time right now. All right, welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. I'm the host of the Daily Trudge. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or if you're a rewatcher. I don't even know why I put that because people hardly say anything. And it's all right. It's all right. We're not here for. I know you're watching. Maybe I'm your dirty little secret because I tend to kind of rough. I don't shy from confrontation very often. I'm putting it in a good light. I confront bullshit, man. It's part of what I do. But you know where I had to start? With me. See, I can do that because I'm being honest with myself, because I'm rigorously honest with myself. Do I do that 100%? No. Nah. But it isn't a no, I'm not willing to work on it. It's a I'm not quite ready for that yet. That's what some of my I'm working on some of the last of my problems now. These are deep rooted things. So, um, I do, I am transparent here, but I'm not transparent to the point where I'm gonna let you know everything going on in my personal life. There are some things that are between me and my God and my therapist, or between me and my wife and God, and that's where they stay. Right. But progress. Everything we do is about progress, right? And what is progress? Well, it's a design for living. Thank you, God, for that leeway, because I did not make that up. I just happened to catch it. I just happened to catch it was a good leeway. I forgot what the topic was. So I had to look up. I had to look up and see what it was real quick. I do a lot of topics, man, and this won't be my first topic today. All right. So we're doing today's daily reflection, right? So um and yesterday, I apologize. I know I had to get off here quick. I was in the middle of one and I left pretty darn fast. I had to take the phone call. It was Kaiser. Um, I have a nail that's growing into the side of my toe and it hurts. So, and they called me. They're like, "Well, you see, you made an orthopedic appointment." I'm like, "I sure did." They said, "Well, the person you booked it with is a hand and wrist and arm specialist." They didn't mark that on there. They didn't put what specialty they had. So, but I did get an earlier date or an earlier appointment. The thing I don't like is that it's at 7:55 in the morning. So anyway, we're going to start on page 25. That's where we're going to start. And it starts with, there is a solution. Here's the thing. The solution that we're about to present is not easy. I don't even know if it's necessarily the easier, softer way. I don't know. If I would compare the last year, my drinking compared to the steps, I would have to say that last year drinking was harder. So maybe it depends on who you are. So if there was an easier, softer way, this is it. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy or soft. Okay. And sometimes people want it to be. We got to watch out for that, patting people on the head, telling them it's okay when it's not okay. When it's not okay. All right. Almost none of us liked the self searching, the leveling of pride, the confession of shortcomings, which the process requires for its successful consummation. No, I don't like it. I still don't like it. My brain goes against it. I got to do this. I got to do this. There's some days I'm just like, I am so tired of maintaining everything. Can it just be a day of nothing? You know how I feel. I just don't want to feel anything today. I go through that. I was like that yesterday a little bit and the day before. I was tired of feeling those big emotions. But I did it anyway. I sat with it. I knew it would, this too shall pass, right? But we saw that it really worked in others. And we had come to believe in the hopelessness and futility of life as we had been living it. There's part of the problem. All my best ideas got me where? Drunk, jail, institutions, close to death. And it was more than that, wasn't it? That's just what happened to me. What about what happened to my children? What about what happened to my lovely wife, or even my ex-wives? Uh, the girls that I dated, employers, the IRS, family support registry. Everything I did, always seemed to affect a lot of other people. And God, it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts. Now I understand that I'm extraordinary and that I'm going to influence people no matter what I do. So I've decided to go a better route. I've decided to do it a better way because I was tired of the hate. I was tired of the anger, man. I was so tired of it. I hated hate. That is alcoholic thinking. And that number went up for a second. Man, What's wrong, guy? Am I not entertaining you? Do I not entertain you? All right. Now, if their name popped up and stuff, they'd stay. See, that's the trick of why I say, please say hello. Because if you say hello, you're going to stick around more. You're going to stick around longer. You feel obligated. So I'm gonna let people off the hook. You can say hello and still leave. It's all right. You're allowed to do that. Maybe you got something you need to go do. Say hi anyway. If you can take off, then take off, man. It's all right. It's okay. Right. So when we were approached by those in the wow, Dion. I'm gonna start that sentence over. When therefore, gibbidly gobbidly do, we were approached. Listen to this line because there's a question that's asked in your AA format that goes against this. See if you can catch it. When therefore we were approached by those in whom the problem had been solved, there was nothing left for us to pick up the simple kit of spiritual tools laid at our feet. Did you catch it? Did you catch it? I'll give you the line so you can figure out if you're right or not. Is anybody here willing to be a sponsor? It's the wrong question. The question is, who here needs a sponsor? When therefore we were approached by those who had found the solution, there it is. Just saying. Just saying. But it's true. It is in black and white. All right. Anyway. So we pick up the simple kit of spiritual tools laid at our feet. What is in it? What's in the toolkit? Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Those are your keys. And it's a sprinkling of acceptance. Acceptance is a key also. Acceptance, willingness, these are keys. Honesty, open-mindedness is the pathway to the door that you're going to open. So there'll be a map in there telling you how to get to the door of willingness, along with the key, how to get to the door of acceptance, along with the key. This is what is in your your simple toolkit. All right. We have found much of heaven and been rocketed into a fourth dimension of existence of which we had not even dreamed. What is the fourth dimension? Let's keep it simple. All right. The fourth dimension is a new way of thinking. It is a new set of morals. It is a new way of doing things. Or if you prefer, a design for living. I needed a design. I needed it to be broken down. I need direction. I need God to tell me what to do, or I fuck it all up. I don't know why. I don't need to know why. If why was the question, I'd still be drunk. No, the question isn't why. The question is who. The question is who. Who am I going to help next? All right. So the great fact is just this and nothing less. The great fact. These are facts. Everything else that I've been looking at lately, it is not based in fact. No. It's based on the ideals of an unrecovered alcoholic or a non-alcoholic who just doesn't really understand, but they want to be a therapist and psychologist and help you. Okay. Now, both of these ways, both AA and the therapist, they can work as long as there's one thing: honesty. Now, here's the problem. Alcoholics are liars by nature. They're not going to be totally honest with that therapist. At least not, first of all, I wouldn't be, not in the very beginning. All right. But let's say I've been going for 6 months. Now I've built some trust in this person, things like that. The therapist doesn't know it's bullshit. I do. The AA member does. They're like, yeah, I've heard that line before. In fact, I've said it myself, and I'm full of it. Therapists might catch some of this. Maybe they grew up in an alcoholic family. That's why they do the work that they do, right? So this is fact. And the fact is this, that we have had deep and effective spiritual experiences which have revolutionized our whole attitude towards life, towards our fellows, and towards God's universe. This has happened to me. And I've seen it happen amongst hundreds of people over and over and over. The result is always the same. Right? Because I hear a lot of people say, well, everybody's recovery path is different. You are correct, but we all walk the same path. We still walk the same path. You're just going to have different experiences than me. See, God knows how to manage things like people. So he's not going to put 5 of us on the same problem. No, he's going to give you a different problem than me because it's a different person that needs your kind of help. That's how big God is. See, it's beyond that. It's more than that. There is no person out there that is the alpha and or the omega, but a lot of people seem to think they're the alpha omega. It's weird. Claiming a lot of things, and now they're special. Now these coaches are specializing, okay? There is nothing wrong with having a coach, but be very particular. All right. The central fact of our lives today is the absolute certainty that our Creator has entered our hearts and lives in which a way is indeed miraculous. He has commenced to accomplish these things for us, which we could never do by ourselves. If you are seriously alcoholic as we were, we believe there is no middle of the road solution. We were in a position where life was becoming impossible. And if we had passed into the region where there was no return through human aid, we had but 2 alternatives. One was to go on to the bitter end, blotting out the consciousness of our intolerable situation as best we could. The other, to accept spiritual help. This we did because we honestly wanted to and were willing to make an effort. Now, we call it the gift of desperation. The gift of desperation is what gets us going. All right. But we do get to a point, because right now, I mean, there is a solution, you know. So actually, yeah, what I was going to say wouldn't work, actually. So, but we got to start somewhere, right? And we already had that. So that we wanted, honestly, and we were willing to make the effort. Well, we just got that toolkit, did we not? My camera keeps going out. I don't know what's going on. All right. Now we're going to skip a little. Now we're going to go to page 28. And this is where the reading comes in. This is where today's reading comes in. But I wanted to cover a little bit before, right? So it went on to tell a story about a guy. So it's going to sound a little weird in the beginning. All right. We in turn sought the same escape with all the desperation of drowning men. What seemed at first a flimsy reed has been proved to be the loving and powerful hand of God. A new life has been given to us. Or, if you prefer, a design for living that really works. Good morning, Amber. I was wondering where you were at. I was wondering. I just figured you probably took your lunch a little bit later. Fucking employees. But Amber's like, I am here. You may continue. Oh, fucking alcoholics, right? So what they're saying is my connection to God was not very stable in the beginning. It was like a flimsy reed. And now it's this big, beautiful tree that I get to climb in and play in and it's beautiful. Right? And it turns out to be the love of God. The whole point to all of this, at least for me, was love. I found true love. I found out what love actually meant. I was way off. I highly recommend reading The 5 Love Languages. It will come in very handy with working with sponsees. Yeah. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean you got to get all intimate with them, but you can learn somebody else's love language and not have to get into that whole side, right? And I say that because as an alcoholic, I got it all fucked up too. Yeah. And I had to relearn. I had to go back and learn things and stuff. And now I give love freely, man. Yeah. And I don't expect it in return. I will, this is how I am. If I'm walking up to a door and I'm going to get there before someone else, I don't care if they're male or female. I open it. I'm there. God has provided me with another chance to make somebody else's day better. If I'm expecting a thank you, then don't fucking do it. If you are expecting something in return for opening a darn door, then don't do it. I have no right to disrupt that person's day. They almost always still say thank you. Sometimes I get a ruh, and I'm like, you're welcome. You got it. I usually make some joke. This is usually my running joke for opening up a door. I'm at that age where I need to learn how to be a Walmart greeter, so I'm just practicing being a greeter. The distinguished American psychologist William James, in his book Varieties of Religious Experiences, experiences. Gosh, Dion, maybe I'm just talking too fast. I need to slow down a little bit. In the back of you, who is the picture in the lower part of the wall? Ooh, you want to take a guess? I remember I had a dream about the Club Trudge thing. Right there. It was torn in half and shit. I don't remember. That picture, Amber, you want to take a guess at it, or are you busy? It's the Heath Ledger Joker, is what it is. I'm a very big fan of Heath Ledger Joker. Oh, I have it I thought it was hanging, but it's not. So that is Heath Ledger, the Joker. And then over there is my other favorite character, Darth Vader. All right. I'm weird. Okay. Kind of go for the psychotic evil guys. All right. So, indicates a multitude of ways in which men have discovered God. Yeah, there's no one. And that's what we're talking about here. When we talk about multiple pathways, we're talking about multiple pathways to God. That's what it's supposed to be about. All right. Because there's a lot of newfangled ways out there. And I'm going to tell you, they're not new. I've seen all of them before. And they always disappear. Recovery is not big business. It is not. I see people specializing. They're going after the sober curious. They probably don't even know what a sober curious person is. Let me tell you a sober curious, okay? Or what the definition is. Somebody who is a non-alcoholic who doesn't want to drink anymore. Yeah, that's sober curious. Otherwise, it's a drinking problem. Now, you may say you're sober curious and have a drinking problem, but we call that denial. There are different stages of alcoholism. There are stages, right? But there's a million different ways to find God, to find your higher power. Yeah. We have no desire to convince anyone that there is only one way by faith which can be acquired. If what we have learned and felt and seen means anything at all, it means that all of us, whatever our race, creed, or color, are the children of a living creator with whom we may form a relationship upon simple and understandable terms as soon as we are willing and honest enough to try. Michelle says, thank you. I thought Yogandanda. I have no idea who that is. Just like you didn't know who that was. So, right now we're even. We're even, right? So, some of the people I hung out with, they were not my friends. Most of them were bullies. One guy, he was from Pakistan. His family was from Pakistan. I didn't care about it. But this guy was so fucking racist. They were bullies. Right? Now I'm just gonna tell you, I grew up in white suburbia until I was 14. And even then, I didn't understand why people talked shit about other people. See, they did that with me too. So how was I going to believe them talking crap about black people or Hispanic people or, all the different racial things that I heard on the playground, which was acceptable back in the 70s, even into the 80s. So when I went into group homes when I was 14, I became the minority. And I learned pretty damn fast. I did. I don't have a problem with any other race. I don't care if you're LGBTQ. I don't care if you identify as a cat. I'm not going to go out of my way to appease the shit, but I am going to treat you exactly like I would treat anybody else. I don't treat people differently based upon other things. Even my autistic niece, I do not treat her any different. And what is that? It's just allowing people to be who and what they are. That it's okay to be that. Because everybody always told me that it wasn't okay to be who I was, and they were fucking wrong. They just didn't want to face the truth. They didn't want the truth. And I find to this day, 90% of the people that I come across do not want the fucking truth. But it's all I have left. I lived there. I used to live on the corner of Euphoria and Dementia. And I moved. Now I live on the corner of understanding and acceptance. Isn't it much better? Remember earlier I said I was tired of being mad. I was tired of all the anger. Well, I let that shit go. I found out that fear and pain were better friends. So I let them go. I stole that right out of a live song, just so you know. It's a great line. And it's true. It's true. Right? Those having religious affiliations will find nothing disturbing to their beliefs or ceremonies. There is no friction among us over such matters. We think it no concern of ours what religious bodies our members identify themselves with as individuals. This should be an entirely personal affair, which each one decides for himself in the light of past associations or his present choice. Not all of us join religious bodies, but most of us favor such memberships. It doesn't seem to happen as much now, but when I got into the program the first time, a lot of people went to church also. I don't hear it as much. It's not for me to decide or anything else. Speaking of which, I got to run sound on the 17th. I got to put that in my calendar. Right. So, whatever you decide, that's the great thing. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to highly recommend something. If you're getting out of your lane, we might say something. But if you decide to lollygag along that way, we're going to let you. There's not much we can do. Right? I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is my opinion that any recovery void of spirituality is incomplete. That's been my experience. Other people may not feel that way, but I've also noticed they don't seem to have the serenity and joy that I see people with God in their lives working it the right way. I don't see them doing that. I see them getting angry. I see them getting caught up in worldly clamors and pointing the finger at everybody, being mad one day and the next day coming back saying, "Oh, I love everybody." It's like, we got to pick a choice here. We got to pick something. All right. The contradictions start showing up. And I know what it is. It's a spiritual malady. And how do I know that? Because, but for the grace of God, that's me. In the following chapter, there appears an explanation of alcoholism as we understand it, then a chapter addressed to the agnostic. Many who once were in this class are now among our membership. Surprisingly enough, we find such convictions no great obstacle to a spiritual experience. Further on, clear-cut directions are given showing how we recovered. These are followed by 42 personal experiences. Each individual in the personal of the stories describes in his own language and from his own point of view the way he had established his relationship with God. These give a fair cross-section of our membership and clear-cut idea of what has actually happened in their lives. We hope that no one will consider these self-revealing accounts in bad taste. Our hope is that many alcoholic men and women desperately in need will see these pages and believe that it is only by fully disclosing ourselves and our problems that they will be persuaded to say, yes, I am one of them too. I must have this thing. All right. And how does that happen? That happens by you living a joyful life so that other people want it to. It's an example. All right. So a dying design for living, we in turn, there's going to be a little repetition here. We in turn sought the same escape with all the desperation of drowning men. What seemed at first a flimsy reed has proved to be the loving and powerful hand of God. A new life has been given to us, or if you prefer, a design for living that really works. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 28. I try each day to raise my heart and my hands in thanks to God for showing me a design for living that really works through our beautiful fellowship. But what exactly is this design for living that really works? For me, it is the practice of the 12 steps to the best of my ability, the continued awareness of a God that loves me unconditional, and the hope that in each new day there is a purpose for my being. I am truly, truly blessed in the fellowship. And aren't we all? And you know that you are. I mean, I can sit here and cite things, I can bring things up, but there again, that goes back to that personal thing with your higher power that I absolutely believe in. Maybe it's a little different for you, but I think that person described it pretty well. What is the design for living? Well, it's the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the principles that it gave me. It's a lot of different things. It's kindliness, tolerance, patience and love. It's the good things in life. All right. We're going to wrap this one up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And have a